What up, folks? I'm Ultrazilla. Today I have a review of the SUPER7 Super Kaiju MECHAGODZILLA 1993. That's right, my zillions, a new line of articulated kaiju figures from SUPER7. That's not Ultimates, that's not Reaction, that's not Super Cyborg, that's not Shogun. Is here, and caution, the city is crumbling. These boxes are pretty nice. I have said that 3 times already in the unboxing, in the Godzilla 89 review, and now I'm saying it here because I do like the box of the figures, and the art is okay on it. I do like the logo, but I'm not like 100% into the art. It's fine, though. I don't know. It's interesting that they're doing this. I wonder what the idea is. Maybe to just to give folks like that medium between Ultimates and Reaction figures, somewhere in between, both size scale wise and price wise. I'm guessing that's what it is. I don't know, but let's take a look at the figure, shall we? So without further ado, let's get to the review. And here's MECHAGODZILLA out of the package, but before we get to him, we do have a piece of building to look at. It is the top of a building, and if you saw my Godzilla review, you saw we have the bottom of the building here, so that's pretty cool. I was a little confused as to whether or not this was just what you get, but no, you do have this and this. I don't know if this is the bottom. It looks like it could go into something else. We'll see if there's more, but this is how that stacks. It's okay, you know, I mean, it's a little bit bigger than we got it before, so that's fine. And speaking of buildings, here's MECHAGODZILLA with the McFarlane buildings from their Pacific Rim line. I like that a little bit better. I feel like their own buildings might be a little bit short. Speaking of McFarlane, here is MECHAGODZILLA. Yeah, we'll do size comparisons right now. Why not? With their knife head figure, and that's not terrible. I mean, depending on how you feel about scaling between Pacific Rim and Toho stuff, you know, if you want to get super technical, this might not be too bad for you, or it might not work at all. Here's how MECHAGODZILLA scales with the other figure in this line, with Godzilla, and he's shorter than Godzilla. Which might not work for you. It kind of doesn't work for me. Here's how the new figure line scales with their Ultimates figure, and you can see it is way smaller. I wish it was just a tiny bit bigger, because this is only a little bit bigger than their Reaction figures. So, yeah, a little bit bigger might have worked out better. Here it is with a movie Monster Series figure and an SH Monster Art, so you can see it's even smaller than the movie Monster Series. And lastly, here it is with the Godzilla action figure MECHAGODZILLA KAIJU. As you can see, it's smaller than that. I wish they scaled a little bit better. You could say they're okay, then that would be fine. I think in some displays it will work, so your mileage will vary. Alrighty, so all of that said, let's do articulation. The head moves like so. Yeah, they don't move up and down, which is weird. They just swivel at the head. The mouth does open, which is cool. Then at the shoulders, it is pretty tight. Much tighter than the Godzilla figure. You do have a hinge and swivel there. Same thing at the elbow. Nothing at the waist. Nothing at the tail here, but that's kind of par for the course for these MECHAGODZILLAs. Legs only go out that much. Kicks forward a little bit, goes back a little bit. You can do that. Then the knee is very tight, and you're not getting too far of motion there. And then the ankles don't move that much either, and a little bit of movement back and forth. It might just be really tight, but you know, a lot of times these MECHAGODZILLAs don't move so well. You know, it's not just this figure, but there you go. That's articulation. Let's just stick here and take a look at this. First and foremost, I do have to say I like the finish on this figure. I think it looks really cool. It's a nice silver. There's a nice little kind of almost pearlescence to it. I don't know, not pearlescence, but like there's a nice metallic look to it, and that works. I think it looks good in that regard. Sculpt work is pretty decent. The tail looks pretty good. You know, I do like the plastic quality. It's solid, you know, it works. There's no like bendy wire here like the Godzilla, so I feel like this works a little bit better. Dorsal fins look good, the tail looks good, these thrusters look good. Same here. The sculpt work on the legs is not bad. It looks sufficiently a MECHAGODZILLA-esque. Toes look pretty good. Bottom of the feet, not bad either. The arms are looking pretty decent. I like the black in the middle there. There's no like paint really on this guy, but like, I mean, except, you know, all silver here. But it looks good regardless. The chest looks pretty good. Again, I got a nice finish on that. The bottom here in the KAIJU looks pretty good. The thighs look really good. And then the neck piece here looks pretty decent. And then the head sculpt isn't bad either, honestly. The eyes are pretty good. The mouth looks pretty decent. I mean, this looks like MECHAGODZILLA, you know? It's got all the necessary sculpt work here. I don't mind this. I think it looks pretty good. The only thing is, it's got this weird, and I said this in the Godzilla review, weirdest proportions. I mean, you've seen it with a lot of MECHAGODZILLAs before, and the proportions are just like scrunched. It's like we took our design and scrunched it. There's almost like an SD quality to it, like somewhere in between SD and normal is this. It's very strange because this is not like a standard MECHAGODZILLA look. I don't know if the idea is maybe go more like toyetic, like old school, like Toy Biz type feel. Could be. I just don't know. I don't know what the deal is, but it's weird, and I think a lot of folks are gonna find it weird. Is it terrible? No, it's not terrible, but you know, when you factor in the look of this figure and the price point at $35, it's just kind of like, what am I buying? I'm not exactly sure. Where does it go in my collection? What is it supposed to do? Ultimately, like, you know, one of the questions I was asking before in my Godzilla review was like, what is this supposed to replace the Ultimates line at some point? Is that the idea? Maybe it could. I don't think it would. I think the Ultimate line, you know, for all the warts that it has, is pretty decent, honestly. But and there's nothing like inherently wrong here. It's just it's not really, I don't think it's my cup of tea. Like, I'm just not like feeling the design of this MECHAGODZILLA, and although I feel the design more in the MECHAGODZILLA than I do in the Godzilla, like I feel like I want to return my Godzilla and keep this guy for my MECHAGODZILLA collection. You know what I'm saying? Like, this guy isn't terrible, and I definitely like him a little bit more than the Godzilla, but it is odd, and I can't not say it's not odd, because it is definitely an odd MECHAGODZILLA. And my final thoughts, well, I like MECHAGODZILLA better than Godzilla. Like, I like me a MECHAGODZILLA figure. You know, I'm a sucker for that. But at the same time, I still have the same like questions and issues that I had with Godzilla. Like, I don't get why the line exists and what it's supposed to be, and who it's supposed to be going for. You know, like, those are all the things that I'm just like wondering about. Like, I just don't get it, because the style isn't like so conducive to like attracting collectors, and for the price point, I feel like it's too expensive for what would be a kid's toy, you know? Granted, like, their price points are high. Like, reaction figures definitely are not worth what they are. I can argue the Ultimates are worth it, because they're huge figures that come with a lot of stuff. And I have argued that before, and I stick to that, you know, and I'll stick to that. Here, though, no, I don't think so. This is not working out for me at the price point, you know. So it is what it is. It's not a bad looking figure. There's nothing inherently wrong with it. It's just the price point is too high and the style is too far from like what Mechagodzilla is. This is a scrunched figure, and there's no other way to describe it. It's a weird design. It is, because it's not like SD, but it's just this weird, like, again, it's like an old school toyetic design, like you know, Toy Biz-esque, not Toy Biz, Trendmasters-esque. I think I said Toy Biz earlier, but I meant Trendmasters. It's kind of along those lines in a way. That's not a bad thing completely. It's just, if the price was cheaper, I'd be probably all aboard on it, honestly. But $35 I think is too much for this, and I would say to SUPER7, if you're watching this, reconsider the price point, because I think that throws me off the most. And you know, for something like maybe $25, yeah, I'd get more of these. $35, not so much. And there you go, guys. That's my review. Hope you dug it. Let me know your thoughts down below. If you're new to the channel, why don't you go ahead and sub yourself for daily content, and let me help you diversify your collection. Until next time, peace out.